Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Sarah Fensky. Moviegoers in the St. Louis area may associate this sound with one specific theater. Yes, we're talking about the Omnimax at the St. Louis Science Center. The domed Imax Theater has been an audience favorite since its 1994 debut, but it closed for renovations in July. Its $3.5 million upgrade is the most significant work it's gotten in its years of service. So what can we expect at the new and improved Omnimax? Joining us to discuss just that is Jackie Mollet. She's the Managing Director of Visitor Services at the St. Louis Science Center. She oversees the Omnimax Theater. And I do want to note that the St. Louis Science Center is among the financial supporters of St. Louis Public Radio. Jackie Mollet, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you.
Now, for those of you listening, if you have a question about the Omnimax, you can give us a call at 314-382-8255. That's 382-TALK. Or you can send us a tweet at STL on Air or email us at talk@stlpublicradio.org. So, Jackie, you recently opened your doors again after 4 months of work. What happened while you were closed?
So we completely renovated the theater from the ground up. Knowing that film has been going away for the last 10 years, commercial theaters, other theaters, digital cameras, everything, that we would have to upgrade our film projection system to a digital system. And so we started with that, what the system was going to be, and then new carpet, new seats, new screen, new accessibility options. The whole theater was renovated.
So you did a whole bunch of work during that time. It must have been just a frenzy behind the scenes.
It was quite the project. It was about 20 weeks of project management at its best.
And it sounds like at its best because you did open when you wanted to open.
Yes.
You hit that deadline.
Our target date was Friday, Black Friday, November 29th, and we did it.
Were you down to the wire on that?
Yes. There was a mad rush of cleaning and fixing up Wednesday night before we closed for Thanksgiving Day. So, yeah.
And then when you opened and you pressed play on that first film, were you all backstage just holding your breath?
There was a little bit of that, yeah. A little bit of, okay, here we go. And yeah, so very exciting.
Worked?
Absolutely.
We haven't heard any
beautiful.
reports that this was a disaster.
No.
So no news is good news in this case.
Right.
So as you mentioned, there's been a big move for movie theaters to move away from the old-fashioned celluloid, so to speak, to just a digital file. Mm-hmm. How does that work with something like IMAX? We associate it with these giant, bulky cameras and with actual film.
Yes.
Can it be done with digital?
It's gotten smaller. Still, IMAX is full frame, big projection. But yeah, like all theaters, like all film, it just gets more and more expensive to operate as film development systems have gone away. There's only two basically film developers left in the world.
Wow.
So we had to do something. We knew that we would come to this point where we would have to make a decision. And we were just waiting for the right system that would fit the architecture of the theater. Being a dome screen is much different than being a flat screen. So we had to have the right system. We've been planning this for about 5 years. Wow. It just took that long to be able to make it all come together at the right time with the right equipment.
And we do have a correction from our producers. Apparently, the Omnimax Theater opened in 1991.
That's correct.
So I want to apologize for shaving 3 years off your age there.
Yeah, that's all right.
So now that you've got this new system in, can you still show movies that were made with old-fashioned film?
If they've been scanned for digital projection, yes, we can still show those.
So they do have to be converted. The old system is gone.
Right. Yeah, all film is gone. It's completely digital.
And does this open you up then to being able to show movies you wouldn't have been able to show before?
Absolutely, because we were limited to what was released in IMAX film, 1570 film, which is very specific. So we couldn't even show other types of film, other formats. Now we can show pretty much anything.
So how much do you think that'll change the bill of fare at the Science Center?
Well, we'll always remain true to our educational documentary films. I mean, that's what we're there for. The Omnimax, as part of the Science Center, is an educational facility. We want to ignite and sustain lifelong science and technology learning. So education is at our mission, right? But But being able to show some of the feature-length Hollywood films, we have a 10-year First Friday program where we feature sci-fi films, and now the ability to show many more of those types of films on our system, it's endless.
And so now you also have Frozen playing there. Would that have been possible before?
No.
Okay.
No. It was not released in IMAX. It wouldn't have been released in IMAX film. And we chose Frozen because of the timing and the holidays. We wanted people to really see the colors and animation on the new IMAX digital system with laser light source is just really beautiful.
So it's different than seeing Frozen at another high-class theater around town.
It'll probably be a little bit different, and you're watching it on a dome. So the dome immerses you in the image more than a flat screen would.
So that's some big changes in terms of the screening. But as you mentioned, there's some other pieces of this, and one of them I was very happy to see is wider seats.
Yes.
What made you decide to go that route? Have we changed since the size of St. Louisans back in 1991?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, as most Midwesterners, most theater goers, we just wanted a more comfortable experience, and we knew that our theater seats at the time were not maybe the best for a longer viewing experience. For a 45-minute film, it might have been okay, but now we just wanted to make it more comfortable, and knowing that we would be doing some longer length films, just make it a better experience for all of our guests.
And in terms of that accessibility, what kind of guests might now have opportunities that they wouldn't have had before?
So we expanded the wheelchair-based seating, so we can have more folks that need chairs in those areas. We installed a telecoil system throughout the theater.
And what is telecoil?
So telecoil is a hearing loop system. If you have a cochlear implant or if you have a hearing aid with a T-coil switch on it, you don't need another piece of equipment. You can just come in, sit in any seat in the theater, and hear the audio tracks from the film without having an assisted device.
Wow. Is that something that's commonly found in local theaters at this point?
I can't speak for all theater chains. I'm sure some of them have some options. We just wanted to make it throughout the theater that people wouldn't even have to ask. They would just be able to come in and enjoy the film without having to do anything extra.
So these are some nice big changes here. What kind of reaction have you gotten after now being open for almost a week?
So far, really good. Really very positive. People like the seats. They like the screen. They like the films. We have our new documentary film, Great Bear Rainforest, which is a beautiful film about the last temperate rainforest on Earth and the animals that live there and the people that live there and protect it. So that's been really well received. And then volcanoes as well, and then Frozen has been great.
So this is a really exciting time. Jackie Mollet of the St. Louis Science Center, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio. That's 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.